So I've decided to do the next video. I've been thinking about which one is worth doing next, and I thought that the one that most people are interested in is dribbling, um, or beating players. And this is one that took me a while to like work out all of the different parts of it. So this is both code monkeys looking in the football in the Championship Manager code to see how that works, play testing, and trying a few other things. So I'm going to try and put all my thoughts together to try and explain how a dribble works. So first of all, for a dribble to even exist, to decide if a dribble is successful or not, two players have to enter the same coordinate of the pitch. So here we've got the red player with the ball, and we've got the player in black gonna make a tackle. Now there are some roles for the player in black, but I'm only going to talk about the player in red's roles. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the way that the player in black can prevent this. Okay, so I'm going to talk about his roles. So when the two players get next to each other, there is a load of different things that go on. So the first thing is dribbling is part of it, but it's not every single part of it. As far as I can tell, and this is as far as I can tell, the dribble determines if when the player takes the ball this way, the ball goes with him, right? So when these two players meet up, the first check it does is dribbling, and dribbling just decides if the ball's going to go with him. However, I think before that, there is an agility check. And the agility check checks that he can turn. So agility is basically how quickly you can change direction. So if the player in black is running towards the player in red, and the player in red is running towards the player in black, the first thing is that these two players, it's going to do an agility check to check that he can try and beat this player. So he tries to go this way. Then it does a dribble check, which is does the ball go past this player? If the dribble check is unsuccessful, that doesn't mean the dribble is unsuccessful. And if the dribble check is successful, it doesn't mean the dribble is successful, because then it goes through another few checks. So balance is checked, technique is checked, um, and strength is checked. Okay, so all of these checks have to be successful for you to be able to win a dribble, for you to dribble past a player. So we've got agility, which way they twist and turn. Dribbling decides if they can do their dribble. Balance decides if they stay upright as the dribbles, or if they get like knocked and the ball goes away. Technique is like it removes all of the bad externalities. So if you've got high technique, it doesn't matter if your balance or your dribbling checks aren't too good. And strength determines that you keep the ball, because obviously you can get strength off the ball as well when you try and do this. So there are those five, and then there is also a pace check at some point in time, which is if you get away from the player. So they're the ones that definitely go in there. I do know that there is also a flare check as well, and basically the flare check, you should think of that as like if you play any Dungeons or Dragons or any game where you have a table of things that can happen. So like 20 would be a nutmeg, and 19 would be like a Croft, a chop, and 18 would be kick and run, or something like that. I don't know. So the higher your flare is, the higher up your roll can go, and if you've got more ways of going through, then obviously you'll get through. And then like at 10, it might be kick into his legs. So you get all of these rolls. So for a player to be a good dribbler, and I almost called this video, why does Joe Cole dribble so well? If you check Joe Cole for all of his things here, agility, dribbling, balance, technique, strength, pace, flair, they are really high on all of them. The other one that's important is acceleration as well. Okay. And I'm not sure, like I said in my last video, how pace and acceleration basically interact. So if a player's got 20 acceleration and 1 pace, and a player's got 1 acceleration and 20 pace, does that mean that they go at the same speed because acceleration goes to max pace? Or does that mean the 20 acceleration is always the fastest over, like, is acceleration always like one coordinate or one tick and pace like 3 or 4 or 5 ticks? I don't know. Um, so yeah, so flair is important, and if you get all of those things high, you will have a very good dribbler. I don't think there's anything else that goes into that calculation, um, and that's pretty much everything I'm going to do on dribbling. Um, if you've got any more questions, please let me know. That's already long enough.